Today we're going to talk about apple cider vinegar and the real reason that it actually works to improve your metabolism. There are many kinds of vinegar that you usually find in the middle aisle of the grocery store, and apple cider vinegar has been touted to be good for weight loss, right? I used to hear this all the time and I used to doubt it, but this has now been studied and it actually works. Apple cider vinegar has been shown to reduce harmful body fat and help weight loss. Plus, it actually tastes pretty nice as well. You can put it into a salad dressing, you can make it into a sauce or a glaze, or you can add it to a stew. So, I want to tell you what changed my mind. When I first heard that apple cider vinegar could help weight loss, and I was watching people that I knew swig down a spoonful of it in the morning, I thought that's gotta be rubbish. Where's the science? There's no reason that would actually work. Well, as a scientist, I keep an open mind. And so when I see data, new data, on apple cider vinegar that actually shows that there's an activity, I actually have to take a look more closely at what's going on. So, first of all, apple cider vinegar is made from fermented apples. It's got vinegar in it, okay? And vinegar is the chemical called acetic acid. Acetic acid. And this simple chemical, acetic acid, prevents fat cells from growing up and from building up, storing itself in adipose tissue. The other thing that acetic acid has been shown to do is it turns down the genes, the DNA, that are responsible for lipogenesis, for creating new fat cells. And so acetic acid, which is found in apple cider vinegar, actually is like gene therapy. It turns down the genes that actually makes your fat grow as well. The other thing that acetic acid has been shown to do is it improves your body's response to insulin. So it improves insulin sensitivity. And that means that when you eat something with carbs or sugar in it, it'll actually help to lower your blood sugar into healthier levels. It's a process called euglycemia. Acetic acid from vinegar actually helps you get there. So, as it turns out, vinegar is really good for metabolic health. Okay, and this is all supported by clinical studies. I want to actually cite one of them. There was a study done in Aichi, Japan that looked at the impact of apple cider vinegar on body weight in 155 people between the ages of 25 and 60. And these people were considered obese in Japan. Now, you know, Japan has small, thin people, but these were people that in Western countries might not have been considered obese, but in Japan they were. Otherwise healthy. All right, and what they did, they broke these people into a couple of different groups. One group got low dose of apple cider vinegar. That's only 1 tablespoon. That's the low dose. And another group got 3 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar. That's the high dose. All right. Now, what they did is they had the people consume the apple cider vinegar dissolved in a little bit of a beverage, water, so it actually prevents teeth damage. And what they did is they had these people, the subjects, consume apple cider vinegar 2 times a day, half of the glass of water in the morning and the other half at some point during the day. And there's a third group that actually just got a placebo, no apple cider vinegar at all, right? So 3 groups, placebo, low dose apple cider vinegar, and high dose apple cider vinegar. And they did this for 4 weeks. And what they found is that people that drank apple cider vinegar, all right, whether it's low dose or high dose, began losing weight after just about 4 weeks. And people in the placebo group actually didn't. And by week 12, this is a 3-month study, those people who had 3 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar lost 4.2 pounds on the scale, or 50% more than those people who had only 1 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar. So the higher dose actually lost more weight. And what was really interesting is that the placebo group did lose weight. In fact, the people taking the placebo actually gained weight while the apple cider vinegar group lost weight. So this is actually a clinical study that proved exactly what I had doubted. And this is the evidence that you have to pay attention to. Now, here's the other thing that was really interesting, and I think the important part. The apple cider vinegar drinkers lost harmful body fat. All right, they lost visceral fat. And their blood lipids actually also improved, the lipid profile, and their blood pressure also improved, probably because they lost body fat. Now, other apple cider vinegar studies have also looked at different parameters, and they found that people who drink apple cider vinegar or take apple cider vinegar actually reduced waist circumference, right? Now, your waist circumference, which is the belt around your waist, actually expands when you've got a lot of visceral fat. This is the harmful body fat, and it shrinks when you actually lose your visceral fat. And apple cider vinegar can actually shrink your visceral fat and shrink your waist size. Okay, so here are some vinegar pro tips. First of all, when you go shopping for apple cider vinegar, there's usually a bunch of choices, and I encourage you to pick up the one that attracts you the most and look at the ingredient label. You want to make sure it's just pure apple cider vinegar, all right? So many products, especially in the middle aisle, have lots of other ingredients that you don't really want to put in your body. So always look at the ingredient label. That's number one. Number two is that you can do research online to see if a brand that you like actually has a good reputation or not. All right, so go ahead. And you don't want anything added to it, but you also want to see if anybody else have any complaints about it. Now, what you got to realize is that although apple cider vinegar is a type of vinegar that was studied in the Japanese study, for example, that I cited, and some others, acetic acid is present in any vinegar. So you could swap out apple cider vinegar for, let's say, white vinegar, or black vinegar, or red wine vinegar, or balsamic vinegar. Okay, that's probably an expensive swap out. Or malt vinegar, which you'd find in a pub for fish and chips, or sherry vinegar. Okay, all of these will be beneficial because they all contain acetic acid. That's the key thing that you need to know about any type of vinegar actually work. Now, how do you use these vinegars, right? Because you don't actually have to drink it out of a spoonful. And by the way, again, come back to the pro tip here. If you're going to do straight shots of apple cider vinegar, I encourage you to actually put it into a glass of water, because over time, once or twice is not going to hurt you, but over time, if you have that super acidic liquid in your mouth, you're going to dissolve the enamel on your teeth, and you don't want that.
Hey, I want to tell you about something real quick. If you're enjoying this video, then you'll want to check out my free guide on delicious summer recipes. With the amazing variety of seasonal produce that's becoming available, summer is one of my all-time favorite seasons when it comes to healthy eating. And for me, cooking during the summer brings me a whole lot of joy and health at the same time. So I'm sharing with you 3 of my favorite summer recipes straight from my own kitchen for you to try. Get the recipes right now for free in the caption below. Now, back to the video.
So diluting it out in a glass of water or some other beverage actually will be helpful. You want to use water, that's fine. But if you want to find something else, think about tomato juice. It's another great way to actually put a little bit of apple cider vinegar. The flavor will actually disappear into the background, especially if you don't like the taste of vinegar. A little tangy, all right? Here's another thing. Vinegar is really, really easy to buy a bottle and store it in your pantry. So this is not something you got to go out and buy all the time. As long as you buy it, keep it in your pantry sealed up. Make sure the cap is really tight, because if air gets in there, you'll get more fermentation, and a little layer will form. It's called a mother. You take it out, you can still use it, but that's something that you probably don't need to have happen, want to have happen. So seal it up, make sure it's airtight, put it in a dark, cool place, like your pantry, all right? And in fact, if you store your vinegar properly, it pretty much lasts forever. All right. This is actually something that really, really keeps for a long time. So now the other thing I think is for you to know is that you can use apple cider vinegar and other vinegars, acetic acid, in salad dressings. You can use it in sautés. You can actually put it on something you're going to roast or bake. Lots of different ways to actually get apple cider vinegar into your body. And just think about it. 1 tablespoon or 3 tablespoons actually gives you benefit. That's not very much at all. Anybody can actually do it. Hope you got something out of this, and thanks for watching.
Hi there. If you enjoyed watching this video, I know you'll love the next one. Stay here and check it out, and I'll see you there.